Everyone, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Just a quick introduction. My name is Cindy Zhang. I'm an executive director at Gobi Partners. Here at Gobi Partners, we manage a number of funds across the region. We're a Pan-Asia venture capital firm that was started in 2002 and now have a presence across China and Southeast Asia. So sitting here in Hong Kong, very excited to be joined by Angie Lau of Forkast, founder of Forkast, and Zaf Chow of Animoca. I don't think I'll do justice if I introduce them, so I would love for Angie and Zaf to please introduce yourself. Maybe we can start with Angie.
Thanks, Cindy. It's great to be here. I'm Angie Lau, editor-in-chief, CEO, and founder of Forkast. I was born in Hong Kong. The company was born in Hong Kong. This is a global media platform that covers all things blockchain, crypto, NFTs included, from Asia to the world. And Cindy, I got a shameless plug for our audience. We are also an important resource for anyone building in the open metaverse. We just published the State of NFTs report for Q1 2022 in partnership with CryptoSlam. It is a definitive guide to NFTs. I'm super excited about it. So, and I'm super excited to talk to Zaf as well.
Thank you so much, Angie. And Zaf?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. I'm the director of digital strategy and partnership of Animoca Brands. I think it's the really hot name in the space. It recently having like Animoca Brands. So I have multiple role inside Animoca. The first one would be play to earn. Investment and also investment in guilds and investment in play to earn games and try to bring the synergy between them. And also on the other side, I'm heading the board adoption of NFT and metaverse in general. So including verticals like music, like entertainment, movies, comics, and also social platforms. So really happy to be here today and looking forward to the discussion with Angie.
Great. Thank you so much. I guess we can get started right away. We have a series of questions that we would love to get the feedback, pick both of your brains. With the first one of being, so Web3 has been a term that we've all seen frequently in the media recently. Our first question is, I guess, a little bit more big picture to help our audience understand. How do you both feel Web3 will change the world? And what is your view on about the future applications of Web3 and the metaverse?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question, and let's get right to it. From my point of view, Web3 has already changed the world, and 80% of the world just doesn't know it yet and is catching up real fast. The future applications are actually being built out right now, and leading the way is Zaf and her team at Animoca Brands, along with a multitude and myriad projects around the world that really accelerated in the time of COVID. There's no doubt that our space has accelerated in a way in terms of growth that is unlike anything that we would have seen without COVID. And why do I say that? It immediately launched an entire world into a common experience of having to experience each other through digital experiences, through virtual platforms. Even Zoom right now, as we're recording this session, is in its own definition a metaverse where we are convening digitally. And what excites me as a publisher and as somebody who has come from the legacy world of media, how do I apply this thinking in a Web3 way? What's enormously exciting for us at Forkast is really, I think we are at really just the beginning stages of exploring what that is. NFTs has captured the imagination through art. We are starting to define what Web3 experiences are for a global audience when it comes to content. And that's what excites us at Forkast.
And for me, I mean, Angie is well said that Web3 is already changing the world. And I think it's all about the ownership, like the ownership of digital assets, because like in Web2 space, like compared to Facebook and Instagram and like platform like that, we're talking about centralization. We're talking about the central authority that has the power to actually erase you from existing. Like they can just ban your account, and then you will lose everything that you actually create on their platform. So like in Web2, the content creator is not really being rewarded. Like for example, you created all those like stories, videos, or like tags on the social media, but you're not really being benefited from it. So I think in Web3 space, the ownership is all about the content creator, and having the technology to come into place, like having blockchain, the ownership is being stored decentralized, and then there's no one that can actually take away the ownership from you. So I think this is the ground for Web3 changes, and there are a lot of application that we can use in the Web3 space. So for the future, we're seeing not only in gaming, because like gaming is the most natural one. People are paying money for tools, for weapons, for skin in the old traditional way. Now that they can actually own all those assets, there's no worries of being like, for example, being banned from a particular game, then you will lose all your assets inside. Now you can actually take your assets, and then it actually allows you to transfer your assets, sell your assets, and then more importantly about interoperability, people can actually build another game and then let the NFT owner of a particular game to go in, and they can carry the NFT assets forward to another space. So I think for future, gaming is one thing. That's why we talk about like entertainment. I think like music and movies and like more generally accepted entertainment would be the mainstream. And I think Web3 can actually bring a lot of revolutionary change to the industry, like talking about music and all those rights linked to the music behind. And I think it would be really exciting to see how Web3 can actually shape the music industry. And I think the experience would be more immersive. And thanks to COVID, I mean, people are so used to interacting virtually, but I think metaverse can take that one step forward, because not only you can interact with your friends or people you don't know in the space, but actually you can actually own something inside the metaverse. You can create something in it and you own it, and the experience will be more immersive in the future. Of like thanks to extended reality, you will feel more real in the metaverse in the future, and that's what we're doing in Animoca Brands. So I think the boundary of physical and virtual world will become barrier in the future.
Thank you so much, both Zaf and Angie. I think we already briefly touched upon what brings us to our second question, which is what sectors do you feel are most poised to benefit greatly from the metaverse and the adoption of Web3? I think Zaf already mentioned a few very interesting use cases in entertainment. So maybe Angie, I'll also pick your brain and Zaf for other industries other than entertainment that you feel are poised to benefit quite significantly from the adoption of Web3.
I think to start, it is that content that will be the common language in the metaverse. But also, if you think about what's behind content, as I do every day, it is really the bulk of ideas. Ideas really form the exciting interchange of content, right? An exchange of ideas. And when we think about that more broadly, what industries can that touch? Every industry. What excites me about NFT is how it can really be a conduit more than just something that's transactional right now, or to be, traded on an open market. I think there is something so much more sophisticated that we're only starting to explore right now. And Zaf touched upon it. Really, the music rights, IP rights, copyright of musicians and artists and content creators. But beyond that, what about real estate? What about financial transactions? What about all of these other things that can happen in the metaverse? How can it express itself, and how do NFTs function beyond just something to buy and sell? Can it be a passport, if you will. And that's something that we're exploring right now. How do we want to share different experiences with different people based on an NFT that they have, that they yield, a wallet that they can, use as a passport to experience different things in different sectors? It really is to the imagination, but it boils down to this market will grow as big as the next idea that is applied to this space. The technology is already there, and it is up to the humans to figure out how to express in a marketable way, in a market environment, what other opportunities there are to transact. And so it could be content, it could be ideas, but there could be so many more things to explore as well.
Zaf, would you let maybe to, I guess, supplement what Angie said, which thank you so much. Are there any particular companies in particular that you found very interesting working on unique things in the NFT space, maybe in the music rights space, something that we haven't quite dug a little deeper in yet?
I mean, firstly, I have to echo what Angie said earlier. It's about idea and creativity, and I can't agree more on that because, in Animoca Brands, we actually see company pitching us every day, and we start to see an unhealthy trend. Like people come to us with similar ideas, similar tokenomics, and really, I think NFT is about creativity, and it's just a tool. It's just a tool for you to achieve something more. It's about how do you leverage this tool and implement that in your industry. So I think we are expecting more innovation to come, and we really encourage people to come up with innovative way to use NFT as a tool. And any interesting industry or company out there, I think for example, music industry, we can see people coming up with ideas that music can be interactive with the environment, and like the NFT no longer just stay as it is. Like you actually interact with the virtual world environment. Maybe when you're fighting, then the same music will react differently. When you're just walking, the same music will be different. I think that is some really interesting way to think about how music can be interact with the metaverse in the future, and we're looking forward to some more exciting ideas around that.
We want to go back into a little bit more into crypto gaming, since this is an area of a lot of excitement, and also one of vast areas of expertise. So in terms of the landscape of gaming with these new technologies, what are your views on how this will impact traditional PC and console games? We can start with Zaf for this one, and then.
Yeah, I think right now people are still trying to navigate around those like play to earn games. And I mean, honestly, those play to earn games may not be really exciting for all those traditional gamers. So I think the future would be having more AAA standard games, which we're trying to do right now. We're launching multiple AAA games coming down like the roadmap this year, actually. And I think we will attract more traditional gamers into the blockchain gaming space, and we will call that play and earn. Like it's a fun experience because people actually play games for like maybe escape from reality, fun, and we are making sure that our quality of games are actually on par with the traditional games. And then with the fact that people can actually own a piece inside a game and is like freely tradable, and also it actually help unlock some of the like maybe exclusive content in the game. Like play to earn game doesn't really have to be earning token. You can just earn you another NFT by unlocking one chapter, and then you can take maybe a hoverboard and then go to another chapter, or like exclusive content for people who own a special NFT. So I think for the impact would be attracting the traditional gamer more, because once that they know they can actually own something inside the game rather than just contributing their time, because the most important thing in the world is time. Like they contribute their time in playing the game. And in the traditional gaming side, you don't really own anything, and you don't want to gain anything besides pleasure, besides having fun. But in the new way of gaming, I think people will slowly recognize like how much power they can actually gain inside the gaming, and they can actually help like promoting the games because of course because it's fun, and of course like when more people come into the space, they will be benefited as well, like maybe financially, maybe not financially, but I think that's how I see the gaming space will be slowly evolving, attracting more traditional gamers.
Thank you. Angie would also love your views, since Forkast is really a very reputable voice in the space. Would love your views on anything interesting that you're seeing as well.
I think the gaming space is evolving so quickly. We saw NFT really pick up steam in 2021. And it was really, I think the latter half to the last quarter of last year, where we really saw Axie Infinity, for example, really take over the play to earn space and really excite and ignite the interest in venture capital. What I observe more from a macro perspective is really this opportunity for Asia to engage in a way that perhaps it never had the opportunity from developing or emerging markets from a individual point of view to participate in really a global experience and also to earn money. We saw this phenomenon really build up in the Philippines, where people were earning and playing Axie Infinity and earning real dollars that translated into being able to buy food, to put a roof over their head. And it was that kind of opportunity that really accelerated adoption and excitement in the play to earn space, especially in Asia. We continue to see that. Indonesia is a hotspot. Southeast Asia is a massive hotspot when it comes to that. There is a very young demographic that makes up the majority of ASEAN nations. That, of course, is not a mistake when it comes to technology adoption. It's not an accident that Vietnam is really leading the way. This is predominantly still a very young demographic that grew up very freely with access to the internet and is self-taught, self-trained. There's a lot of talent in Vietnam for that very reason alone. So Asia plays a really unique role. What I think would be a concern is, what is the end value proposition for these play to earn games that are existing and growing? There's only so much one can earn, play, and do. We've seen that in the life cycle of many games, and I am not a gamer, but I've, as a business journalist, you observe cycles and you observe trend cycles. At some point, there's got to be a bigger value proposition for participating in an experience, whether or not you want to call it a game, whether or not you want to call it the metaverse, whatever you want to call it. There's got to be something more than playing and earning. And what is that? We've even seen that in the life cycle of Axie Infinity and the ability of people to earn really high wages, right? And win really high, that they would be able to exchange, for replacement salary, to being reduced to not really making that much. And so these dynamics are just going to keep changing and pulsing as the trends get hot and cool and hot and cool. And so what is the next big thing? I think I will leave it for Zaf and the brilliant folks at Animoca and gamers around the world to figure out. But from a macro perspective, from a human level, what is that value proposition that you're allowing people to ultimately achieve that betters them not only in the metaverse, but in the real world as well? And I'm excited to see which projects are going to answer that question.
Thank you so much, Angie. I think that wraps up our panel wonderfully, and we're so grateful again for both of your time, and just hopefully once COVID is a little bit safer in Hong Kong, we'll be able to all gather in person. And yes, thank you both so dearly for your time. We're very, very, very grateful, and you're both people that we've been wanting to speak to for a long time, watched a lot of your videos, both of your interviews. So it feels very surreal to have done the panel today. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Cindy.